Hi, and welcome to the weekly general reading for February 1st, 2021. Now, it does not have to be February 1st, 2021 for you to get something out of this. This is just the next 7 days ahead, and we're basically going to look at the themes, dynamics, motifs, basically, what's going to be happening, hopefully make some predictions, give you an idea of what to keep an eye out for the next week, okay? Before I begin, I want to thank the anonymous donor who about this amazing deck for me. It's Antiquities of Magic Oracle, and I am going to do a flip through of this, okay, and that should be posted maybe on Saturday. And anyway, it's a really cool deck. It's a lot like Lenormand for those of you who are just kind of interested in what kind of deck it is. And I just wanted to thank the anonymous viewer who purchased that from the MomentsAre Amazon wish list. And anything like that, it's going to be down below, okay? I don't want to waste any of your time with that. I do want to say though, any kind of news or anything like that, it's going to be at the end, and there is a timestamp. So if you want to check out any news having to do with me, and basically what MomentsAre is doing and all of that kind of stuff, just go ahead and flip to the end there. All right, guys. So that's enough talking for me. If you would like a private reading, that's also in the description, as well as the timestamps. Let's go ahead and name the piles, okay? Pile number 1 is a pink butterfly. Pile number 2 is a green butterfly. Pile number 3 is the blue butterfly. Pile number 4 is a red butterfly. Pile number 5 is a white butterfly. And pile number 6 is the purple butterfly. So if you have not picked your pile yet, go ahead and pause the video. Otherwise, we are going to start right away with pile number 1. Hi, those of you who picked the pink butterfly, pile number 1, here's your reading. Okay, so, this looks like such a great reading here. We've got the 10 of Cups, we have the 10 of Wands, we have the Wheel of Fortune, okay, we have Nature, we have the Star and the Ring, and then we have Turn on the Light. Okay, so, I'm not really getting anything negative here at all. Pretty straightforward. You've reached pretty much, this week you're going to find that you're reaching really high on the Wheel of Fortune. You're going to just be feeling lucky, feeling like the timing's real good and that kind of stuff, and feeling like things are going your way and that kind of stuff. Things are going to be feeling very natural. You'll also notice, and this might be more for people who live in the northern hemisphere than the southern, that there's going to be some kind of aspect of nature that you're going to be really connected to somehow. And the reason I say the northern hemisphere is because in my mind, what I'm getting is a lot of visions having to do with like snow and stuff like that. So it might snow this week for those of you in the northern hemisphere. And really, this is a timeless reading. Just know that this is going up in the middle of winter. So that's a natural thing to say. But yeah, be aware of your connection to nature, because that's going to kind of play a role here. And if you are feeling a little bit kind of like a cabin fever, like you're kind of you're too like you might want to go out in nature to kind of feel a little bit more free. If you're feeling a little stressed or something like that, it seems like nature's going to be really helpful for you. I've said this on previous videos before and been made fun of for it, but I really am connected to forest energy myself, and I used to go outside and pick like little piles of sticks and tie them together and then put them in different areas of my house. And I know that it like probably looked like I was being like the Blair Witch and like really spooky and weird. And of course I didn't tell my partner about it. He just had to find out about them by wandering around the house, and he probably got really freaked out. That's kind of like his life, right? But for me, it was like I brought that forest energy inside. So if there's maybe a more socially acceptable way for you to do that, that might be something that you might want to do to kind of bring nature and surround yourself with that. Or you can be weird like me and just freak out everybody in your house. The bottom line here is that you're going to be wanting to connect with nature in order to kind of feel a little bit more free. sometimes it's just about going outside and breathing in fresh air. That can be just as good. So just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, let's get back to the Wheel of Fortune stuff and the 2 tens. Emotionally, you're going to feel on top of things. You're going to feel like things are going your way. If for whatever reason at the very beginning of the week it doesn't feel that way, just know that that's the way it's going to be by the end of the week, and it's going to be overwhelmingly so in a positive way. I kind of call this the happily ever after card, and I think that that's kind of a trite way of saying it because it's not always perfect like that, but this is about you've got what you want, you've got what you've set out for. So even if you're in a situation where you maybe can't get everything, make sure you have some goals when it comes to your emotional life right now, because it seems like you're going to be reaching those very, very easily this week. And then when we've got the 10 of Wands, here we have a project that's completed. And the feeling, though, here for my audience who picked this pile, though, is that it's like you've got a project that's either about to be completed or is complete, and it's like you want to hold on to it. It's almost like you don't want to share it with the world yet. I would say that this is probably an artistic type of thing. It would be something like maybe you've written a poem, or maybe you've written, it could even be like a paper for school, or it could be like a report for work, something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be something really big, or for some of you guys, it might be that you finished a song or you finished a book or something like that. But the tendency is towards holding on to that before you release it into the world. And I feel like it's appropriate to do that, but for those of you who want to start releasing it and try to see, and all of that, it would be a good time to do that too. It's like I'm getting that this is a both and kind of card. It's saying it's okay if you hold on to it for another week, but there's also the feeling that it's like it is complete, and it is like the next step if you want to share it with the world, because sometimes people don't want to do that, and they want to hold on to it because it's a piece of themselves and it's a private thing, and for you guys, it's just know that it's, you've got it completed, it's good. But for those of you who do want to share it with the world, it's okay to hold on to it this week. But know that you're eventually going to need to do that, and it's going to be sooner rather than later. Okay. So in the Wheel of Fortune, one thing that's important about the Wheel of Fortune is that it's all about perspective. Understand that, it's really, really great when we're on top of the world and when we've got everything and we're feeling really fortunate and all of that. But understand that the higher you, I don't want to say this like as a negative thing, but it's like the higher you are, the further you have to fall. And I think the wisdom of the Wheel of Fortune is being aware that life comes in cycles like that, and that when, to really cherish and make the most out of these positive times when you have them, because this is a very positive week. We've got the stars, so this is either recognition or it could be something online, but I feel like you're going to get some kind of recognition for some kind of contract or some kind of there's something that, I feel like it's something that's been signed, or it's something that's been, like maybe you've shaken hands about it, or it's like something's becoming official and you're going to recognize that. This could be in any area of your life. I am getting that for a lot of you, it's going to be in love, and that might be because of the 10 of Cups here. But maybe in your love life, you're going to kind of feel like you're going up a level and things are getting official. It could be just on the job. It could be something completely different. It could be something as simple as, it could be something like that you're being contracted to do something, going back to artists, just talking about that, is that, it could be somebody who draws, who's gonna be contracted to draw something for someone else and get paid for that kind of thing. But the key here is a recognition. It feels fated, though. It feels like it's supposed to happen. So that's another thing about this. So if you felt like the timing's a little bit weird, especially in your love life, because I'm getting that for a lot of you, it's going to be your love life, understand that the timing is going to be like really good this week. And then we've got turn on the light. I feel like there's something that you guys have been like just when you're sitting around and something just kind of pops up into your head, or maybe as you're going to sleep at night, there might be something that pops up that you're just kind of feeling like, ooh, I don't want to think about that, you know, but it just keeps popping up over and over again. The turning on the light is about, it's time to examine that. Even if it feels really, really uncomfortable to do that, it's like right now you have more wisdom than you did when that thing first happened. And or when the whatever issue is surrounding that you want to push it away, it's like you have the ability and the strength and the insight to be able to look at it and actually deal with it so that it doesn't pop up in your head anymore the way, you know, that way. And I do want to kind of give a little bit of a like there's one nuance here that I want to make sure that I cover. If it is a traumatic situation, because sometimes trauma comes up that way, then I would not tell you to do that. I would tell you to do that with a therapist or with someone you trust or something like that. That kind of stuff you don't really want to do on your own unless you really know what you're doing. But if it's just something that's been bothering you that just kind of keeps coming up and you want to push it away, it might be like an obligation. It might be something kind of negative that happened that you just don't want to think about, or maybe something that you need to face that you haven't faced yet. I'm not getting that it's trauma related, but I just felt like I needed to say that just to cover myself, because I really don't want to, you know, cause anybody any suffering or anything like that. And it's just like right now is a good time to look at that because you have the right perspective, okay? All right, so looks like your week's going to be fine, very smooth. I'm not getting anything negative here, like at all. You know, it just looks really smooth. You're on top of things. Just keep in mind to connect with nature if you start feeling a little weird, you know, and that would be it. Regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful week. And if you'd like to order a private reading with me, all of that is in the description. Thank you so much. Hi, those of you who picked the green butterfly, here is your reading. Okay, so we have Power, the King of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, the Ten of Swords. This is an interesting one. It keeps coming up in my weekly readings, so it's kind of interesting the different contexts it comes up in. Okay, so we have the Paths, and we have the Coffin, and then we have Be Patient. Okay, this can be kind of a this can be a difficult card for me. So this week it feels to me like we're talking about like you are feeling like you are a lot more strong this week than you have been. Okay, it feels like it's in the past, but it's still affecting you. Okay, so there's been some kind of I feel like it's like an energy thing. Like it's just you were out of energy and now you're starting to feel energized again, okay? So like I'm just getting that it was like you're flat out, you were just done and all of that, and now you're starting to kind of pick yourself back up and you're feeling more in control. And I see this especially in your finances and the way that you're relating to other people. I also feel like you have really... like your thinking is really clear right now. It's not muddled. Sometimes, you know, those of us who have, you know, maybe mental health issues, or those of us who have, you know, sensitivity issues and stuff like that. And when I say sensitivity issues, I mean like people who are really empathic, people who, you know, maybe might feel a little overwhelmed by sensory input, that kind of stuff, okay? You know, it feels like those of you who have those things will find that they won't be as difficult this week, okay? It'll be easier to think clearly, not just for people who are, for lack of a better word, neurotypical, but also for those who are not and who are, you know, might have issues with depression or anxiety or things like that. So it's like, I just get this very sharp, clear thinking, like you guys are able to get to that point where you're able to really focus well, okay? Again, you know, this is going to be affecting you, but I'm not seeing, because I'm seeing you feeling empowered, you know, like you're in your power, you're aware of the power you have. So it's like, this isn't affecting you the way that you might think. It's affecting you because it happened. So, you know, something negative happened. It might have involved a betrayal, but what it feels like is it was just you just got overly stressed about something, and now you have to pick yourself up because of it. Okay. And what I'm just getting is that you're moving through it. You're fine. You're picking, your finances are good. You might even be like actually physically cleaning this week. Okay. And then we've got your mind clear. I just feel like things are just cleaning up. And then again, you're in your power. You're also aware of the power of your words, the power of your intentions, and all of that kind of stuff. And so you're feeling really prepared to manifest some really positive things in your life. Okay. With the paths, this is an interesting thing because it actually feels like a blessing. And I feel like I get the same thing in another reading that I did recently. It might have been a private one, but I think I might have gotten the same combination in a previous general reading. But basically, it's just that we've got the paths, and then we've got the coffin, which means that there's like an end to one of your options. Okay, so the coffin is talking about there's an ending, something is stopped. So either you've completed a journey, okay, and now it's time to move on. And it might be moving on from this, or you were divided by some kind of maybe choice or decision that you had to make, or you didn't know which way to go, or you didn't know what the way forward was. But now you know the way forward because one of those ways forward has been eliminated. But it feels more like a relief. So it feels like you know what to do now. You know exactly which road to take, and it's feeling great. So if you are still at this point in the week not so certain about which way to go in a situation, know that choice is going to be made for you, and it'll be really nice to have that. With the Be Patient card, this just has to do with, like, I feel like because you're feeling so clear, because you're feeling so good, it's like, understand that it is still going to take some time before you're getting to 100%. But you're making enough progress to where you don't have to worry so much that you're not going to get there. It's more like you'll get there. Just know that it's just about putting one foot in front of the other and continuing on the path of being. It's like continue on with your power, knowing that you're going to get to a point where you're feeling a lot more comfortable. And I do have to mention that as I'm doing this reading, I feel like I'm being a little vague, and I apologize if I am. It's just the way that it's coming through is that way. So just wanted to acknowledge that and explain why it was coming through that way. Anyway, it does look like you're moving forward. You're making a lot of progress this week, okay? Whatever's going on here that was bothering you or that may still be bothering you this week, just know that you're coming out of it and you're going forward in a very positive direction there, okay? Alrighty, so regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful week. If you'd like a private reading with me, all of that information is in the description. Thank you for watching. Hi, those of you who picked the blue butterfly. Here is your reading. Oh goodness, blessings. Page of Cups, Knight of Cups, the Fool. Oh my goodness. Okay, we do have the clouds followed by the book and say I'm sorry. How interesting. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say before I even saw this card, with the Page of Cups, we have like people talking about their feelings. It might not come out as perfect as you'd like. The way that I think about the pages oftentimes is of like kind of awkward feelings and that kind of awkward feeling of young adulthood and and post-adolescence, where it's like you pretty much know what you're supposed to do, but you're still a little shaky, you're not seasoned, that kind of thing. So with the Page of Cups energy, I'm just getting, maybe some awkward conversations about your feelings, but somebody else in your life is going to be sharing their feelings with you. And I do feel like this is romantic. I understand this is a general reading, and it's not supposed to be love, and it's not supposed to be necessarily about love, but this is coming through like this week you're going to be, if it's not love, it's about relating to other people, okay? And other people are going to be coming forward with their feelings, and it's going to be a real, it feels like it's a connecting week. It feels like it's very harmonious. We're talking about seeing yourself and others, others seeing themselves in you, making connections, but on that emotional level, not on a intellectual level, in a more emotional level. I'm also getting like the revelation of secrets. There have been things that you have been maybe a little bit confused by, that, and that confusion's going away, and you're realizing what the actual information is there. And because this is paired with somebody coming forth and offering their cup, basically with the way the Knight of Cups does, and the Page of Cups does too, I feel like this is kind of telling the story of somebody is clearing up the air about how they're feeling, and you're able to see clearer what that is. It used to be cloudy. You used to be foggy about it. You didn't really know how they were feeling, but now you do. You're going to have access to more information. And the information is also like really solid information. It's not like anything that you could deny or read into or anything like that. It's direct, if that makes sense. So it's another thing like that. Now, some people, when they express themselves, they don't do it through words. They express themselves through actions or through gestures and things like that. And that's just as meaningful. It's just, I feel like it's going to be so direct that you can't deny it, basically like that. And so given that I keep getting that, it feels like you guys, my audience, has this, are in a situation where it's like you're trying not to read too far into something, but you kind of think that it is the way it is, but you don't want to like, it's almost like you don't want to fool yourself. But this week you're going to find out that you're not fooling yourself, which is funny because we've got the Fool, and the Fool does not mean a fool. It just means the Fool is just the name for this card that depicts starting on a new journey. So you're going to have something new coming up. This is a major arcana card, so it lets us know this is a big start, okay? And this can manifest in any area of your life, okay? Because we have so many, relationship, especially here and with here, it feels like it might have to do with a relationship. It could be a new relationship or a new level of a relationship. But do understand that the Fool is just talking about new beginnings in general, and about sometimes we need to take risks in order to get to where we want to be, but usually those risks will pay off. I feel like if you are in a situation where you have the opportunity to try something new, and it promises basically a better future for you, go ahead and take that this week. Or at least be aware that some new opportunities will be coming up, and you have blessings like all over you this week. So it feels like those things are going to end up paying off quite a bit. All right. With the Say I'm Sorry, this is an interesting one to come up when we've got, sharing of emotions and everything. Saying I'm sorry isn't about necessarily, I mean, it can be for some people, and I wouldn't say to change your style, but a lot of people have issues saying they're sorry when they don't actually feel sorry about maybe something, like maybe they did something and they feel like that was okay, that was an okay thing to do, but maybe it hurt somebody's feelings, but maybe the person didn't mean it that way. Saying you're sorry in this case, I feel it's not necessarily about maybe something you did, but more the way that a person might have felt. And it's like, I'm sorry you felt that way. That's not what I meant. That's the kind of thing that I'm getting. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this, is like, I'm sorry that you felt that. And just kind of taking responsibility, not necessarily for the other person's feelings, because that's never a healthy thing, but taking responsibility for the fact that maybe you weren't clear enough for that person to hear you the way that you meant to be heard. Now, I understand sometimes people can really misinterpret things and twist words and all of that. The important thing is that sometime this week you're gonna face a point where you're gonna need to say you're sorry, and you're not gonna really feel like it's appropriate. Just know that this is more about the other person's feelings than it is about what you did or didn't do. And just be aware that sometimes people need to hear that you're sorry that they felt bad as a result of something that happened, right? And like I said, don't change your style. If you really feel like you're not supposed to say it, then don't. I'm just saying that there is a lesson in this for those of you who decide that you're going to go ahead and say that. And it's a big enough lesson that it's coming up. This is your advice card for the week. either way, though, very smooth week. Otherwise, this would be the time to really focus on your relationships. That's the best thing that I can say here. And just know there's going to be a lot of new things coming to you. All right, guys. Regardless what the cards say, I hope that you have a wonderful week. And if you need to, go ahead and book a reading with me. That's in the description below. And have a wonderful one. Thank you so much for watching. Hi, those of you who picked the red butterfly, here is your week, your reading for the week. Okay, so we have signs, the moon, the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. Oh, this is good. We have a fish followed by the key, and we have decorate. How funny. Okay. I like this one because it's a bird that's decorated, okay? That's why I think that's why I said funny. Okay, so right now, the main thing, be on the lookout for coincidences. Be on the lookout for synchronicities. Understand that a lot of people are not speaking to you with direct words as much as they are kind of being subtle with you, okay? And understand that your first impression when you're kind of feeling something out intuitively is going to typically be the right one. You might even want to write down all the coincidences that you're experiencing, or all of the signs or signals. It feels like this is a very symbolic, very I almost want to say of non-solid, but it's just very symbolic this week for you, very abstract. That's a good word for it. Abstract, symbolic. It might even feel like this week is kind of like a dream. It might feel a little surreal. Now, I don't feel like this is a result of anything that's going on with you mentally. I just feel like it's just a state where this week is just kind of, maybe the veil is being pulled back a little bit for you this week, okay? And as a result, you're more sensitive to intuitive guidance and stuff like that. You're going to be finding that with the moon, coupled with the signs, is that you are able to pull back the veil and see some of the things that maybe other people are trying to hide from you. Or you are going to be able to see that one thing that's hidden in a situation. So it's like, let's pretend like your week is a puzzle, and the moon is signifying that you're going to be able to find that missing puzzle piece, whereas other people aren't going to be able to see it. And so maybe other people don't see the whole picture of the puzzle, but you're able to see that. See, I have to even talk about it in metaphors because it's very difficult to describe, when things are symbolic and when things are kind of dreamlike. And again, this isn't a cause for concern when it comes to your mental faculties. You're fine there. Another thing that's going through here is that we've got the fish, which almost always indicates money. It's not always money. It can be abundance, but it almost always indicates money. And then we have the King of Pentacles, which shows, okay, so we've got two cards that are referencing, abundance, money, materials. And then we've got the key. It's like, I really feel like you're going to be able to find a new way to make money, or you're going to be in a place where, because of the things that you've put in place up until now, you are finally going to be able to get a return on everything. You're going to finally be able to see that what you've invested in was the right thing to invest in, and you're going to start increasing either your finances or increasing your materials as a result. Here's another key, though, to that. And the Queen of Cups is very, very much like, the Queen of Cups is very much like the High Priestess, the moon, very much like anything that involves intuition and all of that too. She is very connected with her feelings, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. It's not just the emotions, but it's also just the basically the fabric, the emotional and intuitive fabric of reality is what she is basically an expert in. And I feel like it's important that we've got a matching pair here, a king and a queen, and it's like they're paired up. Like, the way to make money is through maybe your emotions or your intuition, that kind of thing. So kind of keep this in mind. The kind of person I would feel like this would apply to would be somebody who is very artistic, somebody who might be a reader themselves, somebody who just needs to trust their gut when it comes to business matters. And it could really be in any field, but it just feels like it's very, it feels like it would be a field that would be traditionally for women, even, like a more feminine field. Like, for example, it feels more like a nurse than a doctor. Not that women can't be doctors, right? But it's like that. It feels very, nurturing. It feels very emotionally present. So kind of keep that in mind when you're thinking about, finances, because finances are really, really positive this week, okay? With this decorate, I feel like this is almost like a joke, because we've got this very abstract, very ethereal feeling from all these other cards. Maybe not so much the King of Pentacles, because he's pretty much like anchored in the concrete world, but in the rest of these cards are kind of ethereal. And then we've got decorate. I feel like it's like, take time to notice the world around you and be aware of the beauty around you as well, because like I said, this isn't about your mental faculties, but sometimes when we get into our creative space like that, we have a tendency to neglect the physical. And because we can have that tendency to neglect the physical, it's like your advice card isn't so much, oh, you're going to just float away in your head. It's not like that. It's more like just notice what's around you, and in places where there are things around you that you're not liking so much, find a way to improve it. Because every single time we find ourselves more sensitive to intuition and emotions and all of that, it's because we have a very strong appreciation of what is real, what is tangible, and what is concrete, okay? You can't have one without the other. So, and for those of you who are listening to this and pick this pile and are wondering, well, okay, so this is going to happen. How do I know? How do I connect with that? The best way to connect with your intuition is through the five senses, because when you use your five senses, like, for example, I know what this butterfly feels like, right? That way, when I have an intuition and maybe the intuitive symbol is a butterfly, maybe I will feel the same way that I feel when I pick up that butterfly, see? And that's how they're related. Anyway, it looks smooth, it looks nice. For those of you who maybe would rather be a little bit more in the concrete world, this is just one of those times where things are going to be a little bit more in your head and heart, okay? And the moon can sometimes indicate that you might have some difficulty sleeping. So I do want to mention that. I don't think it's going to be as difficult as it would be if you didn't have the King of Pentacles here, though. I think the King of Pentacles kind of anchors this down a lot better. So anyway, it looks like your week's going to be great, regardless of what the cards say. I hope it's wonderful. Thank you so much for watching this reading. And if you need a private reading, all of that information's in the description. Thank you so much. Hi, those of you who picked the white butterfly, here's your reading. Oh goodness, you got the soulmate card. Wow. Okay. All right. And then we have the 8 of Wands. Okay, I'm starting to see the picture a little bit better now, because we also have the 3 of Swords, which can be kind of a scary card to look at, but we got to keep going. We've got the 7 of Coins too. We have the Fox, and then we have the Lilies, okay, and connect with your soul family. Okay, so soulmate and soul family have come up. So we're talking about, when we talk about soulmates, everybody has a different word that they're going to use to talk about that ultimate love, okay? Some people use the word twin flame, some people use anamkara, some people use soulmate, some people use, best friend, some people use this bestie, there's all sorts of words, right? So I just want to say that I feel like the soulmate card and the soul family card are both just acknowledging those really special connections that you have with people that are kind of beyond more concrete explanations, okay? So I'm talking about people that like you meet them and it just feels like you just know they're going to be friends, or you just know they're going to be important people in your life. Those kinds of people are going to be around you a lot this week, okay? And I also think that this heartache, and this right here is referring to a potential soulmate connection romantically in your life, okay? But we're going to go ahead and read it both ways, whether it does or doesn't, okay? So let's just kind of look at these independent, and then we'll look at them in context, okay? Independently, it's like things are moving really fast, okay? And there's some kind of heartache, most likely from the past. It might be the most like really recent past, but it's most likely from the past. I don't feel like the heartache's coming this week. I feel like you've already got it, okay? So there's something there. Things are moving really fast, and you feel like you're having to do all the work, okay? So understand, for those of you, just regardless of this stuff, this week might feel a little imbalanced when it comes to that kind of stuff, okay? You might be noticing a lot of things coming up from your past that are not pleasant to think about. You might feel really rushed, and you might feel like you have too much work to do. The best thing that I can say is just keep plugging forward, because you do have a very strong connection. You've got a very strong network of people who care about you, who are rooting for you, and will help you make this easier, okay? Regardless of whether or not, like, whatever words you want to use to describe this, your inner circle, the people who care about you, the people that you've let in there, they'll get it. So go to them if you need support, okay? For those of you who maybe feel like you don't have this inner circle, know that these kinds of cards come up when your inner circle is about to find you, okay? So that's another aspect of this. This is also about finding those kinds of connections this week, okay? So this week might be kind of difficult in all the other areas, but you'll be able to make some connections this week that are really going to blossom and be really amazing. Now, the reason why I said maybe kind of feeling like you're having to do all the work, the fox also refers to somebody who is typically usually a person in the workplace, like a coworker and people like that. And so what we're getting is that it's like things like the coworker. If this applies to work, like literally physically, like your career or your vocation or your like your school, that kind of thing, understand that this means that somebody at work will help you out. They'll be able to help you. Okay. So rely on that. Now, let me read it in the other context. And honestly, I actually feel like this is going to be more common, that most of the people who have picked this pile, this is what's going to apply to them. I just wanted to get the first one through. So I feel like this tells a story of somebody who is probably a romantic partner, or somebody who is a very, very, very close friend, okay, who it felt like they hurt you, and it felt like maybe you were dealing with a lot of things that maybe you didn't want to deal with, and you started getting overwhelmed, they started piling up, and all of that, but you're starting to realize that they weren't such a bad person, that they were actually innocent of something that you thought that they might have been doing. And what this is counseling is, this week is the time to make that better. Okay. It's a very succinct story. It's very, it's very clear. Now, I would never counsel anybody to go after someone who might be a toxic person in their life. Do not do that. I would, that's not what I mean. I just mean, I'm talking about a genuinely good person who is a genuinely positive force in your life, who might have caused you some pain, during a time where you were just feeling overwhelmed, and I feel like it's one of those things that maybe even both of you had contributed to that. Maybe you weren't in the best mood, or maybe you had taken on a whole lot. Maybe you had been cranky too. but that this person, for some reason, they were painted in a really negative light. And, so we've got the fox coming up as a kind of a sly character, someone who maybe might not be trusted. Like, is there something, is there a catch here? Are they trying to trick me or something like that? And the lilies come up to show, no, this person's innocent. This person's pure. There isn't this person, this person is just a smart person maybe, or just a very intuitive person, or maybe this person's just really connected to you, and that's why maybe, I can't know for certain why this person might have come across the way they did to you, as maybe somebody that you couldn't trust. But I'm just kind of going off of what I do know about situations like this, and how sometimes in soulmate connections, and by that, just substitute whatever you want in that. Just sometimes in connections where they're really, really strong, really intense connections, we'll have a person that it just knows you really well, and because they know you so well, sometimes they'll say things and it'll maybe sounds like I don't know. It just sounds like maybe they know too much or something. Maybe it might feel intrusive or something like that. And it's like they're really, what they said, they meant it to be innocent. They didn't mean for it to hit home so much, or for it to hurt so much if they did hurt you. Because I really strongly feel that whatever person this is referring to is somebody who genuinely did not want to hurt you. And it's just that in these kinds of relationships where you've got somebody who's basically a mirror of yourself, these kinds of issues are ultimately going to come up, because this person is a safe person to explore those areas with. They're not going to leave you, that kind of thing. So just know that that's the story that I'm getting, that I think is the most that I think is the story for this pile. Either way, know that there are some very, very special people in your life right now that either you're about to meet or that you can rely on to help you get through this week. I actually see the week more of a kind of, there's some good things, there's some negative things. The good things have to do with connections and relationships. The not so great things have to do with just feeling overwhelmed, and having like past pain brought up, okay? And I do feel like for a lot of you, the answer to get this pain taken care of is actually found by connecting with these people, okay? All right. So, and also I just got to comment on this, just one more thing, and that is that you guys are going to have a really real week. You're going to, like, by the end of the week, it's going to be like, man, I had a big week, and it's not just, I'm not saying that, because of like, typically I'll say that when there's major arcana cards and stuff like that in here, but it just feels like it's just really complete. We've got the emotions, we've got the more fiery side of things, we've got the intellect here, and we've got the material world. We've got all four elements here. We've got just a lot of stuff going on like that. And so that's what I mean when I say a full week. There's not going to be any one area that you're really thinking of more than others. It's just going to be all sorts of things. So, that said, regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful week. If you need a private reading, you can get a hold of me through the description there. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Right, those of you who picked the purple butterfly, here's your reading. Oh, that's nice. Divine guidance. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and we have the Two of Wands. Okay. We have the dog followed by the cross, and we have let go and flow. All right. Okay, this looks great. So for you guys this week, some people might be making offers that have to do with money. like maybe you filled out a whole lot of, for those of you who are looking for a job, you might have filled out a lot of applications, and they're going to start coming back to you. Or somebody's going to be wanting to give you money for your services, okay? So kind of keep that in mind. It's going to be a lucrative week when it comes to money, when it comes to material stuff, okay? This might also have to do with like somebody finding something that you've lost. I feel like for some of you, there might have been something that you lost that somebody's going to either help you find a replacement, or they're going to help you actually find what was lost, okay? With the Two of Wands here, I feel like you guys are looking right now to either travel literally or to just become more worldly. So you're looking for a good book to read, maybe, or you're looking for something new to study, or you're looking to broaden your horizons. Sometimes this comes up when somebody wants to learn a new language as well. So this is just kind of giving you verification that yes, right now is a good time to kind of start widening your horizons. If you want to travel, this would be a good time to make those plans. Now, I say that knowing that as of the date that this goes up, and I'm not really, like, I'm not very good at astrology, okay? But I do know probably more than the average person knows. Let's just put it that way. I do understand that Mercury is in retrograde as of the day that this comes up, and that typically that's not a good time to make plans, especially travel plans. But that said, I am still getting that this card overrides that, okay? For those of you who are watching this on some other date, just don't even worry about it, okay? I'm just getting that travel, you guys might want to start planning that kind of stuff, or at least thinking about it. Okay, thinking about where you'd like to go, that kind of thing. But again, it doesn't have to be physically traveling. It can be something more like you want to expand your mind to let in more culture, and you can do that by all sorts of different things. Again, taking a class, learning a new language, maybe learning a new style if you are a musician, and could also be taking a cooking class from somewhere, like learning how to cook from certain areas that maybe you don't some place that you don't live in, or reading a new book, and all that kind of stuff, just expanding the mind, becoming more worldly. The divine guidance here, it's like I almost don't even want to talk about this because this is going to be unique to each and every one of you. Just know that any kind of signs, any kind of coincidences, dreams, in whatever way that you found when you have had those kind of special moments where it feels like the world is kind of leading you through it, those are going to start happening this week again. And just know that guidance is pushing you towards what you're supposed to be doing. And that's the best I can say there, because it's going to be unique for each person who's picked this pile. There's a friend that you have that you don't realize is more spiritual than they are, and they're going to kind of surprise you about this. This is not going to be somebody like most likely it's not going to be like a romantic interest or a romantic friend. It's going to be somebody like just a friend, or somebody like an acquaintance that mentions something spiritual about you, and that might be one form that the divine guidance comes from. Just kind of keep that in mind. For a very small amount of you, the friend might become a burden in some way, but I really don't feel like that's going to be true for most of you. I feel like this is more like a friend has something spiritual to communicate to you. All right. And the let go and flow. Now, believe me, I understand exactly how it feels to not want to let go. Sometimes when we are in a good place in our lives, we want to control it. We want to make sure that everything's going really well, and that, we want to make sure that everything is going to happen the way that we want it to, right? Well, the let go and flow card comes up when there's a time where things are, like, even if you make plans, some of them are going to fall through, right? And some things you're just not going to be able to control. And this is saying it's okay. It's okay if some things just don't work out the way that you would normally want them to, or if some things aren't panning out this week the way that you had planned for them to. Understand that that's okay. You're not expected to be perfect. Everything can't always go perfectly the way that you want it, and just understand that this isn't a reflection of you. It's just a reflection of the way that life is, and the way that we just flat out cannot control everything. All right, guys. In general, this does look like a positive week for you. I don't think that I mentioned just how positive this is for finances to you, okay? So I did want to mention again just how this really does look like you're going to have some really positive finances, stuff going on with your finances this week. Like I don't know, you might find out that you end up having a little bit more money than you think that you did, or maybe, like, again, somebody might give you, this could also be a gift, but it's just, you're feeling lucky when it comes to that kind of stuff, all right? So That said, it looks like you guys have a pretty good week coming up. All right. Regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful week. If you feel like you need a private reading, all of that information is below in the description. And just thank you so much for watching. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. So the things that I wanted to tell you guys, so first off, I had talked about how I had some issues last week with my shoulder kind of freezing up and I had to take, another few days off. That's all great. I am healed now and I am like very excited that I'm able to start uploading the on my usual schedule. So I've decided to change my schedule around just a little bit. I'm gonna still be posting 3 videos a week, but I'm gonna be posting them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It just feels better to spread them out that way, and so that's what I'm gonna do. Every Monday will be the general pick a card reading for the week, and then I'll have 2 pick a card readings, one on Friday and one on Wednesday. The next pick a card reading is going to be what is their next course of action. Okay, so this is going to be mostly in love relationships or any kind of relationship, but we're looking at your person and what their next course of action is. We're also going to be looking at what they've been feeling lately too, and any kind of dynamics there, but we're focusing on what's going to happen next. Right. Another thing, I'm really excited. The MomentsAre site is now up, and it is MomentsAre.com. So I have my own .com now. Not everything is perfect, but I'm working on building that site to where it's just really great. And what I need to do at this point is I'm going to start writing articles in my blog. They're going to be really they're going to be articles that I think you guys are going to really like. And if you want, you guys can always just go to the site to read it, or if you want to subscribe, then you can subscribe to my newsletter, which will just include, the blog posts. Okay. But I really want to let you guys know, don't subscribe unless you want to get those, okay? Because I know that can really clutter up your inbox, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person in your life, right? But yeah, I will be posting articles that will be helpful for my audience here. I'll be posting news about what's coming up, the projects that I'm working on, and things like that. I'm going to be posting personal posts about myself, and then I'm also going to be, including like they're going to be opportunities where I'll be giving out coupons and stuff like that for my services and all of that. On the news site, there's also there's more services. I'm now doing voice chat as well as text chat, okay, for you guys. And so I did want to kind of mention that can be good because it's in real time. And just know that I have more projects rolling out, and I'm really excited about them. So I will see you on Wednesday with the pick a card reading. What is their next course of action? What's going to happen next. And in the meantime, you guys might want to check out my site. You might want to book a reading with me now that you know that I have more reading services available. And, as always, I just love you guys. I love that I'm building such a great community here. That's another thing that I'm focusing on is building the community and making it to a point where we can interact with one another, not just in the videos, but having a Discord server, for example, and other places like that where we can connect, and I really want to build that community, focusing on the community, over the next 6 months, really focusing on that. So I'm just really excited. And for those of you who aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I do post videos regularly, and and like this if you enjoyed it. Share it with somebody. I always appreciate that kind of stuff. Gives me great feedback, and just thank you guys so much. I just really love what I do, and I'm just really grateful that I have the ability to do it and that I can connect with you guys. All right, guys, thank you.